Welcome back to Not Censored. Today we're going to be talking about heartbreak and how to get over someone. And I firstly just want to start off with, this is a deep topic, but I firstly just want to start off with, to anyone that's going through it, I'm sorry, I genuinely am, because I know it sucks, and it's just one of them things that everybody has to go through, at least once in their life. But to anyone out there, and watching this, I hope that this can help you at least 1%. If you can find at least a little bit of clarity from this video and your situation and put things into perspective, then I'm really happy for that. But firstly, let's just start off with saying credit yourself, please, for going through the transition of spending time with someone and investing so much time and effort into someone, and then unfortunately not there anymore, which is a loss for them, not for you, because they lost out on an amazing person. And I think at those times when you go through these breakups or something like that, you really lose a lot of confidence, and you feel like, because you invested so much time into this person and you planned so far ahead, you kind of forgot what you were going to do on your own and all the stuff that you were going to accomplish just by yourself, because you've already mapped out all the stuff that you wanted to do with this person. So then it's like, oh, well, I don't really know what to do now. So it's a bit like, oh, I feel like I've lost everything. Kind of. You feel like you've lost everything, but no, you've got yourself. As I've said in previous podcasts, you always have yourself. But yeah, I know it hurts. I know it hurts, especially if you were the one that got dumped or broken up with and you didn't see it coming. That's the worst one, when you didn't see it coming. So just to anyone going through it, I'm sorry, but this is also needed for you. If it didn't work out, it wasn't meant to be, and you're only going to be able to come to terms with it if you accept the fact that it's happened and that you have to move on. You can't hold on to, essentially you can't be like, oh, why did it happen to me? Don't ask why it happened to you. It can happen to anyone. The main thing you need to ask yourself is, it's happened now, how am I going to move on from this? What actions am I going to take to move on from this? And I'm going to give you a few in this video, because it's just helpful. If you're going through it and you need a bit of guidance and you don't know what to do or who to ask, and feel a bit like, oh, it's just a bit, don't wallow in it. I know it sucks, but don't wallow in it, because that's only going to make it worse. You're going to be like, oh, you're going to start thinking of everything. You're going to be like, this memory, that memory. Stop it. Firstly, try and get back into stuff that you were doing before. Get back on the grind. Do all of that stuff. I'm not saying completely distract yourself to the point where you neglect feeling the emotions that you're feeling, because that's how trauma is developed. Don't do that either. I'm saying process the emotions when they happen, because you'll be going through waves of it. It won't just be consistent unless you're just just thinking about it 24/7, because that's the only thing that you're doing. If you keep yourself distracted to an instance, but then you get home or something like that, and then you have 2 minutes to yourself, all of it's gonna flood in. Trust me, it happens. It's gonna, that you're bound to think of it. So when that stuff happens, just take a step back, be like, okay, right, I have to feel these emotions. It's happening for a reason. Obviously, I've just gone from spending almost every day and having contact with this person. So be proud of yourself that you've gone through such a crazy transition and you're handling it. You're dealing with it, you're doing your thing, and you're dealing with it. But don't. I think a lot of stuff happens after the breakup. You start feeling insecure, jealous, or you start blaming yourself, which is the worst thing to do, because no matter what you could have done differently, that always was going to happen. There was no other situation where you come out of it and you guys were still going to be, it was destined to happen, and that thing happened for a reason. So take it as that. Don't be like, oh, I should have done this, I shouldn't have had this argument, I shouldn't have, I don't know, left the shopping out, something like that. Don't think of anything like that. None of that is the case. Like, it was meant to happen for a reason, and it's happened now. Those are the only objectives that you need to be looking at now. So just remember that. And also don't play a highlight reel in your head of how amazing it was. I know that happens. I've done it. Everybody's done it. You think, oh, they're amazing, I'm never gonna find anyone like that again. Maybe I'm not saying maybe you're not gonna find someone like that again. To the point you are in your life, maybe, because you've never met anyone else like that. But you haven't met all the people that you're gonna know and be friends with, or more than friends with. So remember that when you think that there's no other people like that out there and they're not going to have to share the same experiences. All of that is false. So just remember that. And I know that you've been stiffed with this one, and I know that you've clicked on this and are trying to find a way out of it, and see if there's a light at the end of the tunnel. As cliche as that sounds, there definitely is. But give it time. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a week. It's not going to happen in a month. It's going to be an ongoing thing, and you'll be having like these waves, like, oh, I'm doing so good, I'm not even thinking about the person. Then you just sat with the thoughts, and you're like, oh, right, well, this took a turn, didn't it? It happens. It genuinely does happen, and that's fine. But make sure you feel those emotions and process them so that you can fix that for the next relationship. God willingly that you don't have another breakup. But if that does happen, you know what to do. So it's also a life lesson. It's literally just a life lesson of what to do if God willingly, the next breakup doesn't happen. But that's the main thing. No, I know you think right now, this is the only person for me and I don't see it with anyone else. That's fine. Feel that way for however long you need to feel it. But please don't keep thinking like that, because if you think, remember that you didn't always have this person. This person wasn't always there for you. This person wasn't always in your life. Like, you were on your own once before this, so you're gonna do that again, and you're gonna shine. Like, you don't need this person. You're craving this person because of the validation and everything that came from it. And I understand that. It's an amazing thing to have, but you need to make sure that you're looking after yourself as well, and making sure that you don't, your self-worth as well. Like, you shouldn't lower your standards for anyone. And if this has happened, it's their loss. That's how you have to take it. It's their loss, and you're gonna get, God has something in plan that's even bigger than this. Yeah, deep. That He has something in plan that's even deeper than this. Like, it's gonna be better than this, better than that you've imagined for. Like, mind blowing, I know. So stay in there, stay locked in, and don't let this affect you. Like an extreme negative. Like, make sure you're still smiling every day, even if you don't feel like it. Just smile, genuinely, because life's too short, man. Life's too short to be deep in it this much. Like, you're gonna get through this, and you're gonna keep going, and there's gonna be other things that come along the way, and that's just a part of life. But if you do feel insecure, not confident and stuff, remind yourself who you are. Like, genuinely, remind yourself who you are and who you were before all of this stuff happened. Because I guarantee you're probably amazing. I guarantee it. And also, after the breakup, don't put this person on a pedestal and like put all the highlight reels up there. Remember the flaws. Like, remember every little thing that got to you that you've just completely forgotten about now because you don't have that person at all. Remember all the little things that got to you. Remember all the stuff that you didn't like, essentially, and you basically just allowed for that person, which is amazing for you, of course. That's a great partnership. But remember those little flaws that you let go by. And another thing is, if you focus on the negative things and how everything unraveled, and like, let's say you've had the breakup conversation and you keep like playing out the thing in your head, and you're like, oh right, okay, I should have said this. Oh wait, they said that, and then I should have replied like this. Oh wait, what did they mean by no? Like, none of that matters, and you should not pick up the phone and contact them to be like, oh, I know you said this. What do you mean by this? The closure happened the moment they said, I'm breaking up with you. This is over. That's the closure you need. Move on. Chapter finished. Cool. You said your piece. I'll open the door for you. You're gone. That's it. That's how it should be. And let's say you still like this person and they come back or something like that. If they need to leave to notice that you're the person for them, it's not, oh, bro, what? No. If they need to leave for you to come back and realize that you're the one, nah, it's done and dusted there, because then they're not the one for you. If they think, oh, okay, right, I need to see how, if the grass is greener on the other side and then come back. No. You deserve better than that. Everyone out there, you deserve better than that. So just keep that one in mind as well. So if you focus on the negative things and keep overthinking it, on what you could have done differently for a different outcome, then that's going to keep growing and it's just going to keep screwing with your head, realistically. Yeah, leading back to the fact that as soon as it happens, we want to get over it straight away. Don't think that it's going to be a quick and simple process. Like, even watching this video, don't think that it's going to be... hopefully it helps you, everyone. If it's been helping so far, please do let me know in the comments, and feel free to reach out to me, because I know that heartbreak sucks. So yeah, don't forget that I'm always here to anything, even advice, just somebody to chat to. I'm here. But yeah, don't take this as an L, because they lost you. You didn't lose anyone. Don't take this as an L. And gratitude again. Like, remember that this isn't, you've overcome so much. This isn't the biggest thing that you're going to overcome. So when you do, it does feel amazing. Just remember that you will get through this. Like, it's not gonna stay for a year. It's not gonna stay for 2 years. It's not gonna be there forever. It might stay there for a while, but you're gonna get over it, and something better is on the way for you. That's why this has happened. Something better is on the way for you. Cheeky little camera change. Look at that. Something better is on the way for you. You don't need this person. You will survive without them. You want them. There is a difference. You crave the validation, everything like that. And I want to give you a bit of advice on what to do when, like, when you want to pick up the phone or, like, chat to them, or just any possible reason that you tell yourself to contact them. Trust in any higher power you believe. Trust in God. Trust in any higher power you believe that this is happening because there's better things coming for you. But you have to believe that. You can't just be hung up on this person. You have to believe that better things are on the way for you to process this and then move on to something better. You can't hold on to this and be like, no, I want this. You can't have your cake and eat it, basically. What's meant for you will come. That's the beauty in it. What's meant for you can't be taken away from you. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, what's meant for you will not leave. And nobody can take that away either, which is amazing. And what's meant for you will happen in the most unexpected times. And the unexpected things will happen at the weirdest times. But that's how you know that they're meant for you, when it's happening in a place like, oh, I didn't even know that this was happening now. Like, let's say you've found someone, or like, it's like, you're like, oh, wow, I didn't know it was going to happen now. But that's why, when you know it's truly for you, like, it has your name written on it, that's when you know. So that's definitely my suggestion. Trust God. God has better things coming for you. Leading back to distracting yourself. Don't distract yourself enough to the point where you basically can't feel any other thing. Like, don't non-stop keep doing something so that you don't feel any of the emotions at all, because that's not going to help either. But when you are on, like, a good track and everything is feeling good, don't be upset if there's like a few dips here and there and you're like, well, I thought I was doing really well. It's normal, it's fine, and it's happening because you're feeling the emotions. So it's good that the emotions aren't getting blocked out. But I guarantee you will have those moments. Everybody does. And it can happen at the most randomest times. Like, you could be out doing your shopping and you just randomly think of the person. And that's also fine. Like, allow that to happen as well. But also remember that stuff is going to trigger you. Like, let's say you go to your favorite picnic spot. Something very random, I know. You go to your random picnic spot, and then you're like, oh, well, I remember that time when that happened. That's not going to help, is it? Like, it's obviously gonna make you feel some sort of way, and that's a natural human reaction. So allow yourself to feel that. Yeah, I feel like I've said it a lot, but do allow yourself to feel that, because I think that's the main thing that I want from this podcast, is to make sure that you're feeling your emotions as well as processing them, because they're both as equally as important. You've got to process what you're feeling and make sure that you're not just neglecting it. You've got to feel through them, as cliche as that sounds. I also just want to get onto the topic of villain arcs. Like, I don't think how you see those TikToks of like people getting back at their ex, or like doing stuff just to like prove that they're better than them. You do not need this. You do not need a villain arc to prove to the other person that they were wrong about their decision. You should know within yourself that they were wrong about their decision anyway. I don't think you need a villain arc to prove that. Like, I think that's going to take a toll on you more than anything. Because you're going to try and... Because obviously, if you're going through a villain arc, you're going to want to stick it in their face and be like, oh, I'm doing better than you. And that's just more contact, which I'm going to lead into no contact later on. Yeah, no, from me, I don't think you need a villain arc. You don't need to care about the other person's opinions, actually, anymore. So make sure you try and focus on not caring what they think about you anymore, and detaching that whole perspective of what they perceive you as, because you don't need any of that. You wouldn't need that if you didn't do the villain arc anyway. So please just don't do the villain arc. And I think it's done to get over the healing process quickly and show off your progress. But in doing that, you're actually regressing like 5 or 6 steps behind to anyone out there. So don't do that. It isn't going to benefit you long term. It's just going to be... I think, yeah, it's definitely going to make the process a lot harder and a lot slower, because you when you're in the villain arc, you're constantly thinking of how to do this and that to improve and beat the other person at their own game. I feel like it's just not... That's my opinion of it anyway. I don't think you need any sort of validation from them. Because when you're going through the breakup, that's exactly what you want, but it's not what you need. That's just gonna help you regress, and I don't think that's very helpful for anyone going through the breakup process. So please don't do any of that. But yeah, leading on from the breakup, try and remember stuff when you were on your own. I know it sounds weird, but try and remember that when you were on your own, like what sort of stuff you did. And this is also a great time to find out more about yourself. Like what went wrong in this relationship that you can fix in the other, or you want added like extra boundaries or anything like that. Or just stuff that you pushed under the rug because you thought that was okay for this person, but realizing you deserve better and you deserve to be treated better, everything like that. Like, what sort of things have you pushed aside because you thought that this person was for life, that you can now be like, okay, no, I know my self-worth, I know what I'm coming with, and you implement that, because this is the best time for it. You've got to enjoy being on your own before you can be with someone. Cliche as it is, gotta love yourself before you love anyone else. But no, it's true though. It genuinely is so true. Because if you can't 100% love yourself, how are you going to expect to love somebody else? That one is easier than loving yourself. Loving somebody else is easier than loving yourself. So if you can master that, relationships are breeze in the fact of loving yourself and loving the other person. Leading on from the contact stuff that I was going to speak about, I think no contact is the best way to go. And I don't mean that in or do it in the way that I've seen loads of people doing no contact just for the person to come back. They're like, oh, do it for 3 months, do it for 6 months, and they'll come back. No, you shouldn't purely go into no contact if you want to get the person back. The no contact stuff is what I've been telling you through this podcast, really, is to find out more about yourself, get back in the rhythm with yourself and just go through the process with yourself. And you don't really need the person there alongside whilst you're going through the healing stage. Because I feel like that regresses it. You don't need them in the same capacity at all. So if you're like texting them, FaceTiming them, whatever every day, no go, my friend. So definitely take the time out to basically implement a no contact. And if they come back, see where you are at then. But in my opinion, I believe in everything happens for a reason. And if they miss their chance first time, they're not getting a second chance from me. So definitely implement no contact just to see how things go and remember how it was, because you've become so attached to contact each day. It almost feels like you've lost yourself. So make sure to retrieve yourself, because you need to remember all the stuff about you before this person and implement all of that again, and remember your qualities and everything before this no contact. Why no contact is useful is, I think it really just depends on the situation of the breakup. Let's say when you break up mutually, by the way, to all the people out there going through it right now, when you break up mutually, it definitely hurts a lot more than I know that feeling. I genuinely do. But just know that it hurts for both parties. It's not just you that's going through it. Like, even if you got dumped or the other person did the dumping, like, it's hurting for both parties, because that when there's no argument, there's no stress, there's nothing, you can't blame it on something. You can even blame it, oh yeah, no, we just shouted at each other. You can blame it on that. With this, you can't blame it on that. So in these situations, no contact is even harder because nothing went wrong, essentially. But I think no contact is still helpful because it still gives you that breathing room and like chance to catch a breath and just come back to it again. I think it's definitely beneficial for all sorts of breakups. So whether it was mutual, whether it was a situationship, whether it was anything, just the no contact, implement it at least for 3 months and then see where you're at. If you're doing better, then you know that you're doing better. You don't need to go back, because why would anyone regress? That's the worst thing to do. Never regress, because it's just not needed. Like, why? But another thing I would say, even if you go no contact and you still have their Instagram, you still have their Snapchat, you still got everything, you're not stalking them. You're not stalking them. You don't need to see what they're up to. No. Put all of that to the side. All of that to the side. That ain't on your priorities. Because you're not going to be able to get over it if that's on your priorities. You don't need to know what they're doing. You don't need to see what food they're having. You don't need to see anything, basically. You just need to focus on yourself and keep improving day by day. It's a day by day thing. It's not a overnight sort of thing. So you just need to slowly keep improving and reflect on the improvements as well. So in the first week, in the second week, in the third week, a month later, trust me, it's so much better than the month that you started in. So reflect on everything. Keep reflecting as you're going through it, and then you'll be like, oh, I've come this far. Oh, and then next month it'll be better, and then the next month it'll be better, and then you'll all be out of it. You'll all be out of it. That's what I'm praying for. You'll all be out of it, because it's not the place to be in. But if you've made it to this video and you've clicked on this video, I hope that this gives you a bit of hope and a bit of wisdom, a small bit of wisdom, that it is going to be all right, and you're going to get through it, and there's something better on the way. You just got to wait it out, and I know that the waiting, got to be patient, but time is on your side. Time is a beautiful healer as well. Just like to put that out there. But yeah, again, leading from the closure stuff, you've got the closure you need. Don't reach out to them. Why they said this and that, and you're overthinking, just go for a walk. Get your mind off it and stop pondering what this meant and what that meant. Remember, everything is done, and that's the way it's staying. As harsh as that sounds. But yeah. Another thing I'd recommend to get over your ex is definitely going to places where you used to go with them. Because you take people to spots that mean a lot to you. Imagine if that's like tainted because you can't you get reminded of them. I think you need to get over that and just navigate that whole situation of I've been here before without them and stuff like that. Like this will help you overcome things that you thought you couldn't, and prevent you from avoiding things just because of the past. Like imagine avoiding the favorite park that you used to go to just because of this person. Like that's so sad. That's so sad. But that does happen though, because obviously you're gonna get triggered by the memories. But once you're like somewhat into the healing stage, try and go to the places that you used to go with, and just fall in love with the place again, man. Like, because you knew that place before they did. So get into those places again, and remember that it is going to be all right. Of allowing this to happen, because again, you deserve better, and something better is on the way. So yeah, go to places with that you used to go. Is what I would suggest for that one. I can't lie. But honestly, if anybody needs to chat to me or needs anything, my DMs are always open, and I'll always reply. So if anybody wants just even like a little chat, I don't even have to give you advice. I'm just there to listen, because I know how painful the process of this is. But you're going to come out a better person, and it's going to mold you into who you need to be for the next relationship, or just for yourself, really. It's not about the next person, because you're always going to have yourself. So it's molding you into the person that you've always wanted to be. This stuff needed to happen because it's destined. It happened for a reason. So you got to roll with it. I know it hurts. But you will overcome it, and you got to believe it that you will overcome it. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. Because if there's no belief there, then you're not really backing it, and you got to back it to get through it, really. I think that's it for this podcast, and I hope that I've covered all the points that you guys were wanting, or you've been pondering yourself. Hopefully I have. If not, let me know so I can do another podcast on it. I don't mind. But just remember that you're not alone in this either. There's so many people going through this at the same time as you as well. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and you're going to get through this. And you're going to get something even better than this. That's the main thing. You're going to get something even better than this. Just keep that in mind. If you thought this was great and amazing, you're in for a treat. You're going to keep going, and then you're going to be like, whoa, this ticks every single box. So just hang in there, guys. Hang in there. And if you need anything, obviously my DMs are always open. So yeah, just hang in there. And I know that this is happening and it sucks, but love and guidance to you all, because I know that this is painful, but you guys are all going to get through it. You guys are all fighting through this. So yeah, no, props to you guys. I know it's hard, but thank you for joining me on this one, and I'll see you on the next one, guys.